Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. This is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the week ahead, July 22nd through the 26th. We're also going to do a combination video. We'll throw the stocks to watch list in here. I don't have too many stocks on watch for the beginning of the week because Friday was a little bit iffy for the bulls, as you can see on this daily of the SPY chart here. Now, we only did pull back on the daily chart for the SPY. We pulled back down to the 20 SMA. We've been down here before. We had a low back here on 718 at 296.70. So we'll call it 297. Friday, we came down to our low 296.96. So about that 297 spot. And the 20 SMA currently on the daily for the SPY is 296.48. So 296.50. So we'll be watching those lows for Monday. When the market is trading and when the market opens up, we'll be watching this 20 SMA on the daily for the SPY. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the action from Friday. We'll bring over our heat map courtesy of FinViz here. As you can see, a lot of red on our screen Friday in some of the bigger names. Apple taking a hit 1.5%, Google down, Facebook taking a hit on Friday. The banks were mostly down, except the standout there was Wells Fargo, WFC, up about 0.5% on the day on Friday. Over in the oil patch, we did get some buying here in Occidental Petroleum, up 2.5%. EOG was bouncing nicely, up 1.89%. So there was some buying. AbbVie bounced back fractionally. Boeing with a big move up on Friday after they came out with that they're going to take a write-off charge, maybe not as bad as some expected, up about 5% on the day. Caterpillar jumping. So there was some select buying. Even John Deere was up 1.5% on Friday. UTX also moving up on Friday. But overall, you can see a lot of red on our screen. So what caused all this? Friday, the Dow Jones Friday was down 69 points, so it's not a terrible day for the bulls by any means, but just kind of an engulfing candle there on the SPY a little bit. The Dow Jones transports though were up 67, the Nasdaq minus 50, and the S&P 500 Friday were down 19 points for Friday. So New York's Fed president's confusing rate cut remarks is what kind of sent a chill through Wall Street on Friday. This coming from the New York Post. Would cut rates 50 basis points by the Federal Reserve, but then the Fed came out to kind of cool the speculation and walked back that 50 basis point comment. So that's what kind of got the market in an uproar, or not an uproar, but kind of flopping all over the place on Friday. Our fear and greed index right now currently at 44, so we're definitely not oversold, but short term in the markets, maybe a little bit of a pullback mode going on in the markets right now. So we'll see how that's all going to play out. Some of the other things that were moving the markets this week, we had Netflix come out with earnings, and Netflix shares plunge after rare slowdown in subscriber growth. Congress was going after Facebook and their Libra Bitcoin, I guess, controversy there with Facebook. Couple of Bitcoin articles here from the Post. Bitcoin takes a hit as lawmakers rip Facebook's cryptocurrency. So that was some of the top stories for the week. Another thing that's also being watched by the market is don't expect a trade deal with China before the 2020 election. A lot of tweets and comments out. The trade talks still on the table, moving the market around this past week, and I guess going forward. So China and the U.S. is still on the plate for the markets going ahead. Some of your top gainers for Friday, you had GCI moving up with a strong move Friday, AKTX popping, CRWD had announced their earnings, CrowdStrike, so a big move up there. We also had RRGB, Skechers came out with earnings better than expected there. That one was moving up. HYRE was popping on Friday. MGI also moving up on Friday. New Media, NEWM, and EXPO, and STT. Some of your top gainers, top losers for Friday: MRKR, YGTY, JAGX getting a hit on Friday, PACB dropping, MIK, Chewy came out with earnings Thursday. That stock dropping Friday. SXT also dropping on Friday. This courtesy of the trade exchange. Some of your top losers. We'll just scroll down real fast. We'll look at some of the unusual options activity that came out on Friday. Call activity, WMGI, Lennar, ITCI, FIT had unusual call activity, AEM, MTSI, BMRN. To your put side, unusual call activity, Boeing and SLV, unusual put activity in those names. So let's go ahead and look at what's coming up for the week ahead. This courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Economically, we do have a lot of economic information coming out this week. The big thing will be Friday at 8:30. The GDP number will be coming out Friday on the 26th. So towards the end of the week, you notice there's no Fed speak coming up for this week, and the reason being is because on July 30th, we'll be going into the FOMC meeting begins on Tuesday, July 30th, and then we're going to get the announcement on rate decision on the 31st of July, Wednesday, FOMC meeting announcement. And then don't forget, you also now have the Fed chair press conference, and that starts at 2:30. So this week there's no Fed speak because they go dark. And then next week will be a big week to see if they're going to lower those rates 25 basis points, 50 basis points, or do nothing at all. So yet to be determined. So that's what we have coming up. Economically, pretty straightforward. At 9:45 on Wednesday, you get the PMI composite flash. Monday, really nothing much going on as far as economic. But Tuesday, we get FIFA housing prices. FHFA housing price index, existing home sales, both coming out on Tuesday. And that's pretty much it. And then if we look at the earnings, huge earnings coming out this week. Too many to even talk about. But as you can see here, you have a lot of earnings coming out. Big week for earnings. And also next week, too. Some bigger names. You have Amazon, Google, Intel, Starbucks coming out Thursday after the bell. You get Facebook this week, Boeing, Tesla, PayPal, Visa. You have Chipotle, Coca-Cola will be reporting, JetBlue, Harley Davidson will be reporting, Waste Management. You get Twitter reporting Friday before the bell. McDonald's will be reporting. So a lot of earnings coming out this week. AT&T, Caterpillar reporting. Also Las Vegas Sands, LVS is going to be reporting after the bell Wednesday. So if you want, pause the video here, take a screenshot of this. This is some of your larger earnings coming out each and every day. This courtesy of Earnings Whisper. So here it is again if you want to see it a little bit bigger, if you want to take a screenshot of this for your week ahead. We also get IPOs coming out this week. We're going to have a few IPOs. This from Renaissance Capital. I'll put this link down in the comments section for you, and I'll also put the calendar from Trade Exchange. If you click on the green, you can get the earnings that are coming out each and every day. It's a nifty little calendar that they produce, so I'll put this down in the comments section for you also. So let's go ahead and look at some of the markets that were moving for the week that passed. We had JNUG and Nougat, both of those sectors jumping for the week. 32% for JNUG, and Nougat we were up 20%. The VIX was getting a little more volatility coming into the market for the week. That was up 17%, still below 15 here on the VIX, and still well below 20 on the VIX. Silver had a nice pop this week, up 6% for silver. The SMH jumping almost 2% on the week. So the semis had a very good week this week. Marijuana ETF MJ climbed this week 1.25% for the MJ, up fractionally, but a little bit of a comeback in some of the cannabis names. To the downside for the week, FND, which is the floor and decorative holdings sector, that was down for the week. That was down 9% for the week. Oil took a hit. Light sweet crude oil dropping this week 7% for the week. The OIH was down 6% for the week. IWC dropping 2% for the week. We had the IWM also down almost 1.5%. So let's go ahead and look at the IWM. As you can see here, we are back below the 10 SMA on the IWM, still holding above the 200 and the 50 SMA, but unable to mount a rally and a pullback on Friday. A lot of folks will be watching this 150 area and that 200 SMA going forward next week in the IWM. The IBB also still remains under the 200 SMA, still remains under the 10 SMA for the IBB. The XBI also struggling here, pulling back, remains above the 200 SMA, but now we're back below the 10 SMA and the 5 EMA on our daily chart here for the XBI. Let's go ahead and look at some of the sectors for the week that passed. We had the XME, the metals and mining ETF, that was up almost 3% on the week. Other than that, XLP was up fractionally. XLB, the materials sector, this was up fractionally for the week. To the downside, as you can see, oil and gas exploration, that was down 7% for the week. XLC was down 3% for the week. The XLE, the energy sector, this sector was down to over 2.5% for the week. Let's go ahead and look at the banking sector. We never could get up over that 28.50 area on the XLF, so a little bit of a pullback here and back below the 10 SMA. Not too much damage here on the daily chart for the XLF, holding above the 20 SMA on the daily chart, but we are back below $28 on the XLF. So just to sum it up for this section of the video, and then we'll go into the stocks on watch. So the SPY, basically Friday, the markets lost steam. The S&P and the NASDAQ posted their worst weeks since late May. The markets gapped higher on Friday, then kind of faded away, and not a great looking candle for the SPY on Friday. Let's just go ahead and quickly look at the intraday chart of the SPY here. So as you can see, we kind of gapped up in the morning a little bit, and then we sold off throughout the day for a weak close on Friday on the SPY, and a lot of markets and stocks also. Let's look at Microsoft. They had earnings come out on Thursday, and they gapped that stock up, and then it slowly bled off. So we saw a lot of this in stocks on Friday, these pop-ups here at the open, and then they slowly bled off. So a gap up Friday, and not what the bulls wanted to see, but not overall, not much huge damage yet to the market, but let's call this a warning shot right now. Let's pay attention to some of these levels. Maybe we are coming down to this 290 area on the SPY, maybe a retest of the 50 SMA. Now we've had, since January, a great run, a good run in the SPY. Then we pulled back, and then we've bounced from there for a nice run up. Maybe a little bit of buyer's exhaustion right now, and also going into next week, going into the next couple of weeks with a lot of earnings coming out, also with the Fed meeting announcement coming out and still having China and the U.S. Trade talks still on our plate and overhanging the market. So a little bit of a pullback right now, but watch these lows, watch your moving averages on the SPY. Let's see if we're going to retest that 290 and the 50 SMA on the SPY. So we'll go ahead and get into some of the stocks I'm going to have on watch for Monday and maybe for the next few days or for the week if you want to keep an eye on them. So DDS had no specific news, but a big push up into the close on Dillard's here. So this news courtesy of the Trade Exchange, built for traders by traders. So let's go through some of the news that hit after the close on Friday. AVRO announces closing of underwriting. AVRO. So not much movement there. CCNE also had some news after the close on Friday. CASI doing an offering, that coming out Friday after the bell on CASI. They're doing a 30 million ATM offering through Jefferies. SHIP, SHIP, announces receipt of NASDAQ notice for SHIP. SHIP, that stock moving down in the after hours on Friday because it's below $1. So they got a notice there from the NASDAQ. Let's see what other news did we have come out after the bell. TELL filed a form S3 on TELL. By the way, if you don't know what an S3 is or an S1, go to Investopedia, and that will help you to get those definitions: S1, S3, 13D filings, things like that. They're all explained on Investopedia. Top insider purchases that came out from Friday: CHAP, FUNC, EIGI, ATEX, and DXC. Let's see if there's any movement in any of these. CHAP. Not really. FUNC, not much going on there. EIGI, not much movement there. And ATEX, also nothing there. And DXC, not much there with the CEO purchasing over 4,000 shares on that name. All right, so this is some of the news that came out courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Audio news and visual news throughout the day. The Trade Exchange. Check them out if you're looking for a good, reliable news service. The Trade Exchange. Let's go ahead and get into that watch list now. So ACST, a big mover lately in ACST. Big volume coming in the last few days, 3.9 million. So, don't want to chase this one up here, but we'll be watching this one for some pullbacks maybe. Let's see if we can keep this one on watch on our radar for the next few days at least on ACST. Big moves there. Maybe we get a red to green move or a reversal move. If this gaps down, maybe we'll get some dip buyers showing up. Some of the steel names were moving up on Friday. You had 9.4 million shares come into AK Steel. Also, U.S. Steel looking a little bit better here on the daily chart, basing below this 1550 area, 1525 area. U.S. Steel looks interesting, so we'll keep an eye on that. AMC, chatter around this name on AMC. Big volume, 11 million shares coming into AMC. Popped it up to about 11. Keep this one on watch for next week for further continuation, pullback moves. Blue Apron with that news with Beyond Meat. Now, this one recently did a 1 for 15 reverse split on Blue Apron. Shorts were running for the hills here. Now we have a 3-stick pullback to the 10 SMA on the daily chart. So we'll keep this one on watch, see if it wants to do any kind of continuation moves. BYND, bigger name, but holding up well through the selling on Friday. Has this 179.10 area, 179.25 for BYND to the long side. 4.2 million on this one. Now can be in a erratic trader. Be careful. Don't play with this with too big of a share size, small position size when playing BYND. But looks good here on the daily chart, and a strong day on Friday. CAPR recently had some news. This one recently also back in June, they did a 1 for 10 reverse split. Now they popped this thing all the way up to $9. We have kind of a 3-stick pullback. We pulled back to about that $5 area and the 5 EMA. If they can ever break this one back above $6, keep an eye on it on that name, CAPR. Cliffs also was popping over there in the steel space. Cliffs had earnings on Friday, 30 million volume on Friday, and they did beat. So maybe that's what got the steel sector going. Right now it has this 1165 area that it popped up to. But once again, you had these pops in the market on Friday, push-ups, and then they kind of sold off a little bit. But we'll have Cliffs on watch. COF is Capital One Financial, basing here on this name, Capital One. So let's see, we have a 93.50 area. We have 3.9 million shares traded on Friday, a nice move up above the 10 SMA. So keep that one on watch, possible swing trade in the name. American Express also had earnings on Friday. That didn't fare as well, and Capital One held up pretty well on Friday, so we'll keep it on watch. COF. CRWD announced their earnings last week. It was Thursday. As you can see, we have this earnings gap up now on CRWD, so I'll be watching this one for pullbacks in the name to see if we can get some pullbacks and then maybe a turn back up on CRWD, a recent IPO, CrowdStrike. Look at this big volume that came into it. Might even get a continuation move. So we'll watch it intraday, maybe even look for a swing trade in that one. DRRX was popping a little bit, 300,000 shares. If you like these under $1 name, 75 cents is coming into play. If they can get DRRX over 75 cents, maybe you might get a move up in this name, small name. EVOK has been holding up well, has the dollar, let's see, the high on Friday, $1.14. So maybe over that $1.15 area for EVOK, trying to bounce back here. It's a beaten down name, trying to turn the corner. We are back above the major moving averages here. 1.8 million shares came into the name. FSLY, another recent IPO here, FSLY. This stock coming up to that $22 level, so maybe 22 and a quarter might send this one. Recent IPO, holding up well, so watch it if you can get up over that 22 and a quarter on this name. GCI will be on watch, popping Friday, big volume coming in, chatter around this name. GCI, we'll see if there's any kind of continuation or setup in that name. MGI also getting some volume on Friday. It had some news. Has this 225 area up ahead. Got as high on Friday as high as 229. So maybe over 230 might send this MGI. As you can see, it had some news earlier and popped up to $4. Then slowly gave it back. But now we're bouncing again. So MGI will be on watch. MTP had news on Friday. 18 million shares came into it. It popped up in the pre-market, but then slowly bled off. So we'll see what they want to do with this one next week. MTSI over in the semiconductor space. This one had unusual call activity in the name. Now, it does have earnings coming up on the 30th of July, according to TC2000. But over that $18 spot, maybe a quick trade in this one intraday, or for a quick swing trade or day trade. MTSI volume 668,000 shares. Would like to see a little more volume. Overstock, right? Has this $19 and $20 area up ahead for Overstock. It pulled back on Friday. Let's see what this one wants to do. It's had a good run, so maybe we'll pull back a little bit more, but I'll keep it on watch. Maybe we get a pullback area that we get some dip buying in overstock. That'll be on watch. OTLK, this one got an upgrade by HC Wainwright. Has this $3 area up ahead, 2.2 million shares. It popped better on Thursday. Friday kind of had an inside day, but holding above the momentum moving averages here on OTLK. So we'll keep that one on watch. Let's see now, with the market showing some weakness, right? We should keep an eye on some of these inverses, SDS for intraday plays, or maybe to protect your longer term holdings. Once again, this video is for educational purposes. Any trades that you make are your own trades. We're just trying to give you some ideas here. This video, once again, educational purposes. But SDS, if the market does decide to continue to move down, this might protect your portfolio a little bit. Also, you have SPXU is another inverse. As the markets move down, SPXU will move up. TZA, if the IWM is weak, TZA will move up. So keep your eye on TZA. Intraday, you might want to keep an eye on TVIX, all right, TVIX. We were getting some intraday plays out of TVIX last week, so that'll be on watch for the week ahead. If you like UVXY better for intraday plays only, though, on TVIX and UVXY. Do not hold these instruments overnight, can be dangerous. Then back to the long side, TWST holding up very well, IPO'd back in November of last year. A lot of fits and starts in this name, but TWST over 30.55 might get interesting here. Volume is very low on this name. Maybe a possible swing trade in TWST, but like I say, keep an eye on some of those inverses to protect your portfolio. Don't take too many swing trade longs this week. Let's get through earnings season before we get too aggressive. Solo, by the way, forgot to mention this one, SOLO. You might want to keep an eye on this one. It's an electric car vehicle maker in Canada. SOLO was perking up a little bit on Friday, so that name. Sedge over in the solar space has been on a nice run, held up well on Friday, so Sedge looks interesting in the solar space. Lastly, RRGB was popping on Friday, 1.6 million shares, getting back over the 200 SMA Red Robin or gourmet restaurant sector. So keep an eye on this one for a possible continuation move. All right, this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. This is your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead. I hope you're more ready for the week ahead than you were before, and combination stocks on watch video. All right, each and every night we do a video, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We go dark for Thursday. Then we come back and do videos on Sunday. If you like this video, please hit the like button down below. That's greatly appreciated. Support the channel. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to be notified when we do a video. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. Hope you have a great day trading Monday, and we'll be back at it with another video, Stocks to Watch Monday.